8-year-old illegitimate child violates the law. His beloved sneaks into the house in a nightgown, with a love drumstick in his hand, when he couldn't wait to lift the curtains. But it wasn't Rinva. Have a chicken leg. How come it's you? Do you believe me when I say I'm here to deliver a snack? I'm a doctor in the open. In the dark, I'm a whoremonger. You've got it all wrong. Yulingo came to her senses and hit him right away. She yelled that he was a lecher. Fan Xian didn't want to bother him, until Yulingo knocked off his chicken leg. Fan Xian couldn't stand it any longer. He told him that he made a deal with Lin Wan-er. He wasn't a thief, but Yulingo continued to chase him. During the fight, Yulingo accidentally stepped on a chicken leg. She kicked Fan Xian in the vitals. Fan Xian punched him in the nose. They had to stop fighting. Lin Wan-er returned to the house. When she saw them fighting, she was stunned. Fan Xian said he started it. The chicken leg he brought him fell on the floor. Find a doctor. Defy the world's delusions. Break through the fatigue of your life. It's just like in the novels. What kind of books do you read? You're a good fighter. Suddenly, Yulinger became a 5-pronged disease. She took Fan Xian to review her moves. The two of them watched him patiently. When Yulingo came back to her senses, she felt like a light bulb. I'm sorry. I'm a kung fu nerd again. You guys talk first, I'll go out. I won't let anyone come near me, it's embarrassing. I had to keep going out for them. Fan Xian was finally alone with him. He said he's been obsessed with him since he first met him at the Bluebird. I've been obsessed with him. He confessed his longing for him. Wan-er seemed touched, but suddenly she took out a dagger and put it on his neck. She asked him if he was a womanizer. He asked him if it was his way of picking up girls. She told him she was Guo Baokuan's servant. But Guo Baokuan never takes a servant with him when he goes out. Fan Xian got even more excited. So Lin Wan-er was looking for Guo Baokuan for herself. Afterwards, no matter how fierce Lin Wan-er was, Fan Xian could see that he still had himself in his heart. When Wan-er saw him pressing on, in a moment of desperation, she pointed a dagger at herself. She threatened him to leave. When he saw this, he had no choice but to reveal himself as Fan Xian. But when Lin Wan-er heard this, she felt he was teasing her. Who do you think I am? How dare you humiliate me like this? I'm really a criminal. You know I'm married to him. You deliberately said his name to tease me. That has nothing to do with it. My name is Fan Xian. Fan Xian is me. I've been teaching Fan Xian for years. I'm really Fan Xian. Then Fan Xian began to explain himself. After listening to Fan Xian's explanation, Lin Wan-er was still skeptical. To prove he was Fan Xian, Lin Wan-er took out a pen and paper. She asked Fan Xian to write the poem he'd written at the poetry festival again. Fan Xian did as he was told. But there's no one else who writes with such ugly handwriting. There's absolutely no one else. While they were chatting, the princess maid wanted to check the room. Yulingo couldn't stop her, but when the maid entered the room, Fan Xian was nowhere to be found. A guy came to meet his wife with 2 chicken legs, but he didn't expect to meet a guard checking his room. The maid searched the room. She didn't see anything suspicious. When she opened the curtains, Lin Wan-er was already asleep. This dispelled her suspicions as soon as the guards left. Fan Xian appeared out of bed. He had no choice. It was an emergency. It's all in the books. I'd better wait outside. Yulingo had to leave in a hurry. Fan Xian was still in bed, refusing to get up. Because he's married to Lin Wan-er, he wanted to stay in bed a little longer. If you don't get up, I'm leaving. Seeing that Lin Wan-er was getting anxious, Fan Xian got up and sat on the edge of the bed. He sighed at how lucky he was. He fell in love with a girl. He found out she was his fiancée. It was destiny. Then Lin Wan-er asked him about his affair with Sri Li. Fan Xian quickly explained that he was innocent. The reason for all the fuss was to get out of the marriage. Uncle Sinan wouldn't let you marry a little maid, would he? Father can't control me. There's still His Majesty's decree. Then I'll run away with this little maid. If His Majesty himself comes to arrest me, I'll take him with me and run away from Qing to the farthest place in the world. Then I'll steal good chickens and cook them for him. Lin Wan-er was so happy to hear that. But she's suffering from consumption. She was not the one. She was not the maid who could go far away with him. Fan Xian told him. Fan Xian told him that as long as he treated her with care, Phileo would be cured. He'll cure him for sure. That was the end of their misunderstanding. Fan Xian put Lin Wan-er to bed. He didn't want to leave. After that, Fan Xian often snuck over to see her. Lin Wan-er's presence made the modern Fan Xian in this lonely world. On the way back, Fan Xian was as happy as a child. The whole of Kyoto was filled with the sour odor of love. Early the next morning, Lin Wan-er woke up. She found Fan Xian had left her a note. It said, "Hold on to your son's hand. To grow old with your son." She felt her heart overflowing with joy, just as he was immersed in love. Suddenly, the guards told him. The princess has summoned him to the palace. Li Yunrui told him good news. His engagement to Fan Xian should be broken as soon as possible. But Lin Wan-er didn't hesitate to worry about it. Li Yunrui suspected he'd met Fan Xian. If they break off the marriage, then he still has control of his underwear. If he marries Fan Xian would own the panties. Li Yunrui was unhappy. But he didn't get angry with him. He didn't want to push Ling Wan. So he told him, since he didn't want to get out of the marriage. Let's wait until later. On the other hand, he lingered to find out more about Fan Xian's relationship with Sri Li. She took a boat to Sri Li's boat. Just as he boarded, he found the maid on the boat on the floor. He followed the trail all the way to the cabin. He was surprised to find Sri was chatting with two women in white. He even gave a token to one of them. But he was shocked when he saw their faces. He accidentally sneezed and alerted the people in the house. He had to dive into the water to escape. On the other hand, Fan Xian received an invitation from the second prince. He was invited to the drunken immortal house for a drink. Ruoruo had a bad feeling. She wanted to go with him. But Fan Xian didn't believe what could happen to him in Kyoto. This is Kyoto. Is he going to kill me in the street? So he took Fujiko Kyo with him. Unbeknownst to him, this appointment, it became a scar in Fan Xian's heart that he could never in this world. If there's no one you're willing to die for, what's the point of living? This is Ting Zijing's last page in his heart. Fan Xian was his best friend. But Fan Xian didn't know Ting Zijing was talking about him. In this ordinary appointment, it turned into an eternity of separation. The second prince was waiting for Fan Xian at the drunken immortal residence. Silly was making tea, but just as he was about to take the cup cracked for no apparent reason. His heart thumped. Fan Xian said he'd buy it for him when he got to Danzhou. While they were talking, the hidden assassins were ready. Two white-clad assassins stepped over the wall. Then they bent their bows and arrows. The two assassins work in perfect harmony. They shot arrows at them. The Vine Spirit used his position to avoid the arrows. Fan Xian used the carriage as cover. The two assassins didn't give them a chance to catch their breath. They were still shooting at them. Fujiko Jing rises into the air. He opened the flying dagger under his cloak. He kills one of them in an instant. He doesn't care about such assassins. Fan Xian also threw an arrow. He killed another assassin, just when they thought they were safe. The carriage came around a corner. The horse's leg triggered a mechanism that activated the mothership. 3 arrows from the crossbow pierced the horse's back. Fan was dragged into the courtyard by a strong man. A powerful force threw him out. Fujiko Jin rushed to his aid. He recognized the man at once. Cheng Jushu. Then he rushed towards Cheng Jushu. But with just one punch from the 8th-ranked master, he sent Tu Zijin flying a few dozen meters away. Then Tu Zijin dodged the fatal blow. Then he rose up in the air. He threw out another flying dagger and hit the orange, but Orange Tree is an 8th-grade alchemist. This kind of attack is just like scratching an itch. Fuji Zijin was still in shock. The Orange Tree had already launched its next attack. Fuji Zijin and Fan Xian were both knocked into the brewery. At that moment, a candle fell. It quickly set the room ablaze. A huge explosion sent them flying. Seeing that the day was doomed, both brothers gave it their all. Fan Xian led the fire straight to Qing Jiushu. The two of them attacked each other with frantic punches and kicks, but at their current level of strength, to Qing Jiushu, they couldn't do any damage. Soon they're at a disadvantage again. Fan Xian was knocked out of the room. Tu Zijing was also sent flying by the force. Fan Xian asked Tu Zijing to attract Qing Jiushu's attention. He would take care of the rest, but he didn't realize that Fuji Zijing was trying to seduce him with her life. Fan Xian picked up the wine jar on the ground. He went at Qing Jiushu in a rage. He smashed it solidly on his head. Cheng fell to the ground. They were about to leave. But Qing wasn't dead at all. He's not dead. Tong Zijiang. Seeing Tu Zijing killed alive, Fan Xian's domineering true chi began to surge. He struck the orange tree 2 inches into the ground. Pay attention to the man urging the hegemonic true chi in his body with one palm. The Northern Chi 8th-ranked fighter Qing Jiu-Jitsu 2 inches into the ground. Immediately after that, he picked up the bathtub and smashed it hard on his head. Qing Jiushu collapsed with a loud bang. At that moment, Fan Xian had already swam into the lantern room. He fainted heavily and fell to the ground. I don't know how long it took. Fan was woken up by Wang Qiming. He pointed his finger at Fuji Jing and tried to wake him up. Wang Qinian told him sadly, Fuji Zijing can't be woken up anymore. He told him that only if Qing Jiushu was alive. To find the real killer. Who will reward him? The procuratorate. Then Fan Xian told him to take Cheng's body back to the Fan residence. He's going to the court tomorrow to inquire about the results. Afterward, Fan Xian limped home. When Ruo found out about Fan Xian's accident, Ruo rushed over. When Fan Xian had calmed down, Ruo told him to tell the second prince. He might miss his appointment today, and tell Ruo he's not going back to Danzhou. But Sly was remarkably calm when he heard about it. The second prince suspected he probably knew this would happen, so he tried to get something out of him. But he didn't expect Silly Yili to speak so quickly. He didn't say anything. What does His Majesty want to do? I'm just saying, don't take it seriously. She sent Fan Xian to find his father to talk to him. Fan Xian ate his meal as if nothing had happened. The food supervisor told him, Mr. Chung has been sent to the public prosecutor's office. Fan Ruo was waiting at the entrance to the court. Fan Rua has been standing guard at the entrance to the Palace of Supervision. Fan Xian said the second prince was the most suspicious. But think about it. If he dies, everyone would think the second prince killed him. Such a poorly executed assassination. Doesn't seem like the second prince's idea. In fact, he already knew in his heart the crown prince is the mastermind behind it. I want to know where the crown prince, where did he go today? What did he do? You can't ask about the prince's whereabouts. Fan Xian slept soundly beside Lin Wanair. He didn't leave until the next day. By then, Fan Rua had already arrived. She told him the academy wanted to release the tree. Brother, the academy is releasing the tree. The clouds and mist are condensing.